With Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, Emmy award-winning actor Rip Torn died Tuesday, which we touched on earlier. His representatives have confirmed that. He was 88. Known for his work in films, TV, stage, a veteran actor, won an Emmy for his role as Artie on The Larry Sanders Show. He was also known for his work in the Men in Black movie series, earned Oscar and Tony nominations, of course, played Albert Brooks' I guess you could call him lawyer in one of our collective favorite movies, Defending Your Life. And if you aren't familiar with that role, here's a quick clip. This is him discussing with Albert Brooks what's going on and how he got there.
When you use more than 5% of your brain, you don't want to be on Earth, believe me. Well, not that your takeout places aren't lovely, but there are many more exciting destinations for smarter people. Now, being from Earth as you are and using as little of your brain as you do, your life has pretty much been devoted to dealing with fear.
It has?
Well, everybody on Earth deals with fear. That's what little brains do.
So condescending.
What are little brains?
That's what we call you folks behind your back.
That's the best.
Forgive me.
It's so goddamn true. All the little brains just spending whatever they got up there on fear. Just thinking about fear.
Avoiding
just
fear.
all the time.
Holding themselves back.
Everything is just fear-based with all the little brains. All the smart guys I know who have the bigger brains aren't fear-based at all.
Well, it's a cliche, but it's true. Like, think about it. They say the things you regret most are the things you didn't do rather than things you did. Right? Think about it in your own lives. Like, you don't regret things you did for the most, occasionally, of course, but for the most part, it's the things you didn't do.
I always just think it's that super, like, I always think about it with my own family. Like, if you ever say to my mom, like, oh, I'm writing for the Oscars, she'll go, oh, that sounds stressful. Or I'm going to go in a car race. She'll go, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. Yeah. Or aren't you scared you're going to crash the car? Like, it's always a what if something goes wrong. Right. And it's like, well, what if something goes right?
Or
you can choose to focus on that, or there are many better aspects.
You just do nothing your whole life because of the potential of something going wrong, which is an aspect of every endeavor that involves leaving the house. So stop using your little brain and stop being so fear-based all the time. It's crazy. It's also, you just look at all the news and all the all the true crime stuff and all the stuff. Like, everyone is just trying to scare everybody all day, every day. It's driving me nuts. I don't know why that Piper is so attractive to us. You know, I don't know why we hear the sound of that fear Piper and we go, oh, it's off in the distance. Let's follow it. Let's go over the mountain and see who's there. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why not just go live it? I don't get it. They're selling it. I mean, that's what they're selling. Both sides constantly selling. 90% of everything on TV is some fear-based. We're selling you outdoor lighting. They show Prowler coming around the window at night. Like, everything is fear-based. There's
a radio commercial for, new garage doors, and it's constantly about if you have an old garage door, it's going to snap and kill your family.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one on the radio.
It's a guillotine attached to the front of your house. Right. You want to know? It's funny. I was just talking to the Indy driver, Scott Dixon, but the happiest, calmest guys are the race car drivers and the MMA fighters, because they're not fear-based people. So if you're going to get into the octagon or you're going to climb into an Indy car and go 231 miles an hour for 5 hours at Indy, you're not a fear-based person. Now, you may be scared of scorpions or spiders or something. You may have your thing, but you're not a fear-based. Now, and the guy in the octagon would be scared in the Indy car, although would probably look at it as a rush, and the Indy driver would not want to get into the octagon. But they're still not fear-based people, and they actually walk around a little less agitated and a little less fight-or-flighty and a little less, well, this ain't going 250 miles an hour, and I don't have to worry about it.
They embrace danger for a living.
Right. But as I now think about it, it attracts fear-based people to the sport, to the profession, and they're much more even as you just catch them in the middle of the week.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Defending Your Life is streaming on Cinemax, by the way. If you're a subscriber, you can watch it. Also worth a $3 rental across the industry. Also, we should point out he was Alan Tudyk's co-star in Dodgeball.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of people who are not fear-based, Rip Torn was not a fear-based human. He won an almost $1 million in a defamation lawsuit against Dennis Hopper, who claimed that Torn pulled a knife on him one time. I think they were actually meeting, I think this was for Easy Rider, like a chemistry test thing. And that role went to Jack Nicholson. He reportedly attacked Norman Mailer with a hammer during an improvised scene in the movie Maidstone. Mailer ended up biting off a chunk of his ear. We have that, by the way. It's insane.
We have a tape
This
of
is
that?
like raw footage of it happening. And it's kind of a movie, but it's kind of happening in real time.
You say Norman Mailer?
Yeah.
But maybe he thought his last name was Naylor.
Oh,
and
hammer.
you should take a hammer.
That's a very
That could
good
be
point.
just a confusion.
If you're a hammer, it looks like a nailer.
Like, you know,
If
we're
you
doing
watch this,
Falconer,
that would be hard to prove.
Falconer.
Yeah,
like
right,
maybe
sure.
it was one of those situations. All right.
Yeah.
We have footage of that?
It's 9 minutes. I got a chunk of it. Tell me when you
chunk.
want to. Yeah, thank you. When you're done. But this is basically first just a clip of, and you can't really tell if this is like a scene or if he's just kind of doing this on his own. Rip Torn's kind of contemplating in a field, and then he picks up a hammer and goes after Norman Mailer and calls him Norman, I think. So, this is a movie.
He's thinking. He's got his eyes closed. It's a very young...
He goes up to him, starts beating Norman next to a tree.
Wow.
Norman Kingsley, you must die, not Mailer. Not Mailer. I don't want to kill Mailer, but I must kill Kingsley in this picture.
Wow.
And they go at it. He has a hammer in his hand.
Wow, he's going at him with a hammer. Oh, and he just bit his ear off.
Mailer's wife comes running over, or someone goes, "What are you doing?"
Let go of her. Let go of her. No, baby. No, baby. You know, you trust me. You trust me.
Wow.
You trust me.
It's like some
trust me.
acting exercise gone
You
awry.
trust me.
Oh, Matt,
You trust me.
let's never let this happen to us.
Promise.
I don't want to bite your ear off.
And then he kind of calms him down, but doesn't stay calm for long.
I'm sorry.
Try to hit him with a hammer.
Sorry. Stop this. Get up. No. Let me hit you. No.
Oh, he's trying to kill him with a hammer.
Hey! Will you cut this thing out?
They're scrapping hard on the
Holding a
ground.
camera 4 feet away.
Yeah.
The craziest thing ever. Wow.
And this goes on for maybe another minute.
That's
and
the
the wife
weirdest
comes over and
piece
goes,
of
"Get off that! What are you doing?"
tape I've ever seen in my
I
life.
was holding a camera 2.5 feet away.
And then you can scroll through because once he finally gets up and everyone tries to calm down, Rip is just still in the zone. He's like, "Yeah, baby, what do you mean? What's the problem, baby?"
Wow.
He's on drugs.
Yeah.
There's got to be something. That's the wife?
I think so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wow.
It's crazy.
The kids are crying?
Yep. That's Norman's kids.
Why are his kids there?
I don't know. That's there's three
God, the
people trying to
70s
pry him
were
off.
weird.
I don't know, man.
This is nuts.
What year was
This
this?
is crazy. What movie are they filming?
Maidstone?
What year was this? Was it the 70s?
I mean, it looks like it.
Tried to hit him with a hammer.
Maidstone came out in 1970.
Dead, baby. I had to do that. You know that. Look what you did to my kids.
By the way, all right, let's
It's
pause
pretty
it.
crazy.
Look, let me just tell you guys about batting average. When someone says, "You tried to hit me in the head with a hammer," and the response is, "Hey, baby, you know I had to do it," you rarely are greeted with a, "Well, when you're right, you're
You
right."
got me there.
When you put it like that,
Touche. You're right.
there you go.
I wasn't prepared to accept many responses to that,
Right.
that charge.
Well, let me try this. But the claw end, really? Or are you just, when you're right, you're right? I'll just walk away.
Hey, it's just a hammer. Well, anyway, you slice it.
Come on, baby. You knew it had to be done. Yeah, I guess so. You know, I'm really going to look inside because you're
Yeah.
about the fifth person today who's attacked me with a hammer, and I must be doing something
Yeah.
to attract that. I'm
No.
going to internalize
It's gut
these
check
hammer
time.
attacks.
Yeah.
I've been externalizing for far too long, and perhaps That's what's bringing it on.
My instinct is to call you irresponsible. My children are right over there. My wife's right over there.
Right.
Really, who's the irresponsible one?
Right. You bring your family to a hammer attack. That's on you.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I owe you an apology.
I should say.
Yes.
Yeah, bizarre. And then in 2010, when he was 79, he was charged with carrying a loaded gun while drunk and attempting to break into a branch of his local bank.
There goes a man.
And I think he fell asleep in it, and he thought it was his house.
It was his bank, to be fair.
That's a good point. His money's there.
People do say, this is my branch and my bank,
That's
you
right.
know.
Yeah.
You know, you have your bed and your bathtub.
Your friendly
You don't
neighborhood.
ask permission to get in it, do you?
Far from it.
No.
But
Especially with a gun.
He is very beloved and will be missed.
Not by Mailer. Who's probably
Or Dennis Hopper.
Or Hopper. Yeah.
But the rest of us, the rest of those little people.
Mm-hmm.
So fans of Jesse Pinkman and Walter White are not super happy right now, according to ET Online. At the end of June, Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston caused this big stir among diehard Breaking Bad fans among us when they posted this black and white photo of two donkeys with the teasing caption, "Soon." Then last week, the former co-stars upped the ante. They posted a picture of themselves crossing the shallow creek in the water holding their shoes, and it said "even sooner." Naturally, all the teases, everyone thought this was buzz about the movie coming out, the Breaking Bad movie, or some exciting project that we can watch.
It's like a Sneaky Pete thing.
Well, they did just announce, they took to Instagram and announced their new mezcal company called Dos Hombres.
I'm in.
So people were pretty disappointed, pretty pissed. They called it a dick move. They said, I'll be talking trash about you, but while sipping this new mezcal.
Can we get the mezcal? Is it available for sale?
It is. They said it's smoky, and they found it in this little tiny
I'm saying, is it
town.
available for sale?
Yes.
Can one purchase this?
That's the point. Yeah, this is their new company. But despite the actor's misdirect on social media, TVLine.com, here's some silver lining news, reports that it does seem the movie is coming eventually. Paul will reportedly reprise his role as Jesse Pinkman. Apparently, the film went into production already in Albuquerque, so everyone just calm down and enjoy some nice mezcal.
Yeah,
I feel like Cranston was in every single movie for about a 4-year period.
He was humping it for a while,
and I think he's probably taking his foot off the accelerator a little bit, just
count his money,
trying to catch your breath.
Well, if you see what happened with George Clooney and his, was it tequila?
Yeah, I just bought a bottle of litter 24 hours ago.
There you go.
Casamigos. That stuff flies off the shelves.
It's really good.
They keep it behind the glass, right, at the Ralph's, the liquor store, the grocery store. So I had to buzz and get the manager to come over, and he's like, I'm like, oh yeah, can I have the Blanco Casamigos? He's like, people love this stuff. This stuff. I'm like,
what is different about it?
I don't drink it. Christy does.
I do too.
But it's very smooth. I've had sips of her cocktails.
It's much milder.
Very mild, very smooth, very drinkable. It's not harsh like tequila that we all knew in college.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
Yeah, and then there's mezcal, which is not tequila, but I always used to say mezcal tequila when I was going to Tijuana.
Pretty sure it's both from the agave plant. I love mezcal, and it's my grandma says mezcal, and it's smoky and kind of not sweet, but smoky and smooth.
Tastes different than tequila.
Yeah, instantly different. You could tell them apart instantly.
And then there was the brand called Mezcal Tequila, which had the worm in it. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Old school.
So that was a big deal. You got to eat the worm.
Yeah, is that a thing
I've
anymore?
heard that. Yeah,
yeah, like a dried.
Not for your tribe. The Jews aren't into eating
a
lot of tequila-soaked insects.
No,
it's been a while
we're
since
not known for it.
It's been a while since we did a side-by-side blind taste test.
We should do that with the tequila and the mezcal.
Little Dos Hombres and Casamigos.
Yeah, Max Pata. But when I used to go to Tijuana and buy the tequila with the worm in it, what was that called? Was that mezcal tequila?
I think that's a semi-common thing. There's some that have scorpions at the bottom. I think that's kind of.
Well, I'm not a weirdo.
Yeah, come on.
All I did was snort a caterpillar. Yeah, in the 80s, it was like a yellow and red bottle or an orange and yellow bottle or something like that. And I think we called it mezcal, and it had the worm, and it's like, you gotta eat that worm. Now, they would always say eat the worm, But as I remember looking at it, it wasn't a worm. It was more like a small caterpillar.
Oh.
Like it had little legs and stuff like that.
Centipede?
It was like a little green. No, it looked like a caterpillar.
Looked like a mealworm, like a maggot kind of.
Delish.
Yeah.
Monte Alban.
Mezcal. Nah, I don't think it was that one, but it was close. By the way, when I said yellow and orange label, I'm sure that's every single tequila bottle out of Tijuana. But yeah, the one that had the worm in it, probably the most famous one with the worm in the 70s, 80s. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, a couple of, there you go. You can pick for your own.
Yeah, I think that mezcal. Yeah.
Ooh, there it is.
There's a worm in the bottom.
Yeah. It's a substantial size.
Yeah, by the time
That's a grub.
By the time you got to the worm, you had no qualms with the worm. That's what I want to say. It was at the bottom.
That worm is so tough.
That's right.
Well, a couple of problems in the sky. First, a Delta Airlines flight from Atlanta to Baltimore was forced to make an emergency landing in Raleigh, North Carolina on Monday. And a passenger, we were looking at the video right now, shows what happened. So this dude named Logan Webb looked out his window, was terrified when he saw what appears to be the engine spinner completely detached and rattling around while flames swirl around inside. Other passengers reported the smell of burning metal filling the cabin. The pilot was able to safely land the plane. Passengers were later placed on another flight to Baltimore, but that's what he saw when he looked out his window.
Yeah, that spinner is like the size of a thermos, and it's like the pointy part in the front of the blades, and it came loose, and the air is keeping it in the bay,
right?
And which has got to freak everyone out, and all those engine parts coming apart and everything's got to freak everyone out.
Reassuring that it didn't come apart though, right? Disintegrate or whatever.
That's reassuring, and then also the part where it's always surprising when they can land on one engine.
Yeah.
It seems so counterintuitive because you think one side of the plane is propelling the plane.
Just flying circles.
Why wouldn't it just spin around like Gamera or whoever the flying turtle was in the old Godzilla movies? Like the flying turtle, Max Pata.
It's Falconer.
The flying turtle in the old Godzilla movies, all they did was put like a bottle rocket in a turtle and they throw it and it just goes spinning around. It would just go spinning around.
Wow.
But you think the plane would just go spinning around. It's only got power coming out of, and you can kind of picture, it was Gamera. If you had an automobile and both rear wheels were producing power and then all of a sudden one wasn't and the other was, you could feel it wanting to turn that other direction, but you also go, well, I'll just turn the wheel a little and compensate for it. Air is like that. Like it's so much harder and thicker and there's so much. I mean, just think about what one of those planes weighs. Think about all the contents and all the fuel, and think about the fact it just lifts off the ground. That's how thick air is. I mean, that's how much lifting air can do. So I think when the plane starts to go one way with just a one motor and they just go full aileron this way and full whatever flap that way, the air is so hard that they can straighten it out.
Here's Gamera. Or Gamera.
Gamera. Yeah. Oh, he's got rockets under him. Oh, and he's spinning around. That's how Gamera flew. He's a spinning turtle.
He's a battle bot.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, good.
Yeah.
What do they do, Max Pata? When they lose an engine on one side, they must have to just have the flaps go. So if you lose the left side engine and you're the pilot, you're going to start turning to the left if you lose the left side engine. So you must have to do with the control surfaces on the wings and the rudder and everything like that. You must have to turn right.
Manually, yeah.
Just physically put everything like you're turning right for as much as you're going to turn left. I mean, that makes sense to me, but I don't know. Sorry.
Well, while he's looking at that, another problem in the sky is a Ryanair flight turned into, quote, hell on earth, according to several passengers who were on the flight from England to Croatia on Saturday. So according to Fox News, it was a 3.5-hour flight carrying 70 drunk attendees to this festival called Hard Island Music Festival, reportedly yelling at each other the whole time, ignoring the crew, vomiting everywhere. And by the way, one of the passengers said there was no alcohol served on this flight to them. So they came in fully partied and ready to go. Their rowdy behavior delayed the flight by an hour.
Oh, my God, it's exciting.
That's right. Passengers said it was like being in a jungle with wild animals. Ew. The crew members eventually contacted police. They met him in Croatia. 3 of the men arrested and escorted off the plane once it landed.
Yeah. Maybe it's their mistake for saying no booze on this flight.
Oh, it flew from Manchester, those drunks.
Yeah.
Everybody. It's always funny. I always do I have this bad math. Like when we were talking the other week and you're like, a stowaway flew out of a British Airlines flight when they're flying into Heathrow. And I'm like, what? The flight left Mozambique. I'm like, okay. All right. Okay, now I got it.
Makes sense.
I always do the math where they're landing, but it's not. That's where they took off is where you have to do the math.
Yep. Yes.
Right.
Yes, Chris.
All right. So, a plane with twin engines, it can do pretty much everything with just one engine, and the pilots would have to adjust with the throttle and trim to compensate. So one engine going off is not as big of a deal.
No, it isn't. But I feel like it would be a bigger deal that they compensate. The computer probably compensates.
Yeah,
now.
they say they compensate with adjustments in throttle and trim.
Well,
there's a power imbalance.
Well, in that case, that guy's no hero.
Yeah. So we talked the other day about Donald Trump not being able to block people on Twitter. Well, he's not going to be the only one. It's very possible that's going to take heat for that. Ex-New York Democratic Assemblyman and radio host Dov Hikind said Tuesday that he plans to sue Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for blocking Twitter users based on their views.
Every elected official should be held to this.
Absolutely. This follows the federal appeals court ruling earlier Tuesday banning Trump from doing this. Hikind said that his suit will be similar to the one filed against Trump, writing, quote, "She uses that account for political and policy commentary, so to shun a citizen off from her statements is a problem, as well as blocking me from petitioning her or seeking redress." She has over 4.5 million followers. Doesn't have a new standard.
Yeah. We got a lot. There was a great Don Adams film. They made a Get Smart film.
Mm-hmm.
Starring Don Adams. They made Get Smart the movie.
Okay.
And I think the first one was called The Nude Bomb. There's like a bomb that we're going to make everyone nude.
Diabolical.
So it's high concept?
Yeah.
Well, it's back when you could get some fannies in some seats before Pornhub and internet, all that stuff. Right. You could get a few people in the theater if you thought you're going to see some boobies. The Nude Bomb was a movie.
Yeah.
Is that where the Naked Gun came from? Was that a takeoff?
Can't be, but who knows? But I think we need to light off a dignity bomb in this country. Like the thing about people think that the nukes, they blow up when they hit the ground, but they blow up above the ground and just spray everywhere. And I think we need to do that. We need to unring some of these bells. We need to reel it in just a little bit. Everyone's suing everyone and blocking everyone. And speaking of AOC, you want to talk about now? I don't think she has a small brain. I think she uses her medium-sized brain.
5%, not 3%.
Rip Torn would argue that she does.
She scares the small brainers, and she comes out of the detention facility or whatever it is on the border, and she's like, "Those women were drinking from the toilets, and I feared for my safety." And it's like, how did you fear for your safety? You have folks walking around in ties with reflective sunglasses. Why were you scared in there? And then the question is were you scared? And did you see people drink from toilets? Or is that working on the scared small brainers? Right. And you are the puppet master of the small brainers. So you're going to get all these people scared, and then you'll control them. Once you scare them, you can control them. It was a crazy thing. And I never know why there's no follow-up questions. Like, what do you mean you were scared? And who was drinking from the toilet? The Nude Bomb trailer's funny.
Oh.
Says who?
Let's see it.
Nations of the world. This is chaos.
Chaos.
We have in our power a devastating new weapon, rendering the entire world completely new.
The fate of the entire world is in your hands.
Maxwell Smart is a fool and a bum.
You
cannot be too careful with your gun.
Are you all right?
Missed me by that much.
All right.
It's always weird when you have a catchphrase. It goes, missed it by that much. And we used to say that back and forth when I was a kid all the time. It was our form of entertainment. It's also, it always strikes me as funny that Hugh Hefner, at the later part of his life, would just have guys like Don Adams come by and like have movie night and play cards.
Yeah,
and,
he was big on movie night.
And he must have said to like the 23-year-old runaway peroxide blondes, like, good news, big celebrities coming over tonight. Was it Leonardo? Who's taking my kind of stuff?
Have you seen the nude bomb?
All right, ladies, you sitting down? Average age, 21 and 7 months. Don Adams.
Oh, you mean Don Draper, John Hamm? Oh my God!
I don't know those names, but we have the Don Adams coming here.
Don Adams.
Tonight, we're playing pinochle at this kitchen table.
Yay?
Oh, come on, sweetheart. You're born in 1996. I think you know who Don Adams is.
Sure, who doesn't know the beloved and smoking hot Don Adams?
Don Adams.
Oh!
He's one of the biggest, greatest comedic minds of our generation.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos, Control.
Mm.
Mel Brooks worked on this.
Who? Mel who?
Mel's coming as well. He's gonna be
Brooke
with
Burke? Oh, I love her.
Brooke Burke?
Yes.
I don't know who that dude is.
Oh.
Look, it's a big deal.
Okay.
Now, Don's nurse/handler says we only have a couple hours with him. So whatever that means, but you got to get busy with him. You get busy.
Oh, I just let myself in. The door was... Oh, hello.
Don Adams.
Yes, it is me, star of stage and screen, Don Adams. What's your name?
Are you Hef's uncle?
Oh, no, that's good stuff.
All right, now please. You've seen Get Smart.
Get Smart.
How many times have I yelled at you, Get Smart?
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
Get smart,
Get
bitch.
smarter.
Oh.
I'll take it from here, F. Go upstairs and change into your other pajamas.
Cammy, this is a real who's on first situation.
No, get smart.
I'm trying. I'm getting a dictionary.
Get smart.
Hold on.
Get smart.
Oh,
Get
get
smart.
a thesaurus. These books are getting heavy.
All right. One more guy's coming. Buck Henry.
Buck Henry.
Come on.
He's bringing Starbucks?
No.
I'm going to need it for Don Adams.
There's a big...
I told you she knew me.
Mel Brooks and Buck Henry. Would you get smart?
Okay, 1 second. I need my calculator.
All right. Yeah, it was Don Adams was one of those guys.
Mr. Hefner, Mr. Khan is at the door.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one?
Yeah. Oh, forget about Scott. This is James.
I'm sorry, who? Is he related to Scott?
He's his dad, okay?
Oh!
Godfather, hello.
I love that pizza place. I thought they were only in the Midwest.
Jesus Christ, I'm this close to fucking 30-year-olds. This close.
Don't do it. Please,
Don't do it.
I'm this close.
Don't do it.
Don't say it.
I swear to God, you keep going, I will bang a 31-year-old.
Missed it by that much.
I'll get smart, I promise.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Missed it by that much.
Barbara Streisand apparently won't travel anywhere without her beloved dogs. This is according to Page 6. Now, hold on.
That's not a Babs type move. That is not the move of a super rich white diva. No. I don't believe this story.
So she took her 3 dogs, Miss Scarlet, Miss Violet, and Fanny, on a 10,000-mile round-trip flight to watch her perform at London's British Summertime Concert on Sunday. A source told The Sun magazine there was no expense spared for these pets in the backstage area. They had free roam of her dressing room, a dedicated member of the staff pushing them in a buggy, walking them around, wanting to make sure they didn't miss the show.
What do you think Brolin's doing?
I don't know.
He's on the road. Like, he's got to be like, first I'm going to do some donuts in the Raptor on the front yard. Then I'm going down to the mall and beating off.
The mall in the basement?
At the hot dog on a stick.
Downstairs.
It's always staffed.
That's what I got. Loosely, these are my plans while you're on your tour.
Yeah.
I may mix it up and beat off in the Raptor at some point, but right now, this is what I got on my agenda.
Yeah.
I think men of a certain age just want to be left alone. You know what I mean? Like, he's just flying up.
I mean, what?
So this is her with the dogs in the car. She, by the way, in case you're questioning her love for these animals, in 2018 she revealed that she cloned Miss Scarlet and Miss Violet from her other dog Samantha, who she was devastated when Samantha died. So she cloned Samantha and made Miss Violet and Miss Scarlet.
You guys, I've always had this sort of theory that we just have X amount of whatever in us, and like, I'm sure Babs is really super shitty with her hair person and her makeup person and the town car driver and everything. Why are they so saccharine sweet with the dogs? Like, why does it go so hard with the dogs? Like full Leona Helmsley or
Karl Lagerfeld.
Marge Schott.
Marge Schott, that's right.
Loved her St. Bernard. It was horrible to everybody. It was like racist and horrible to the players and everything.
But she loves Shotzi.
Well, dictators are sort of known for that too, right? I mean,
they all go
every Bond villain.
No,
they go super hard with the animals. Like it's like I don't know why. Like everyone who's nuts for PETA is douchey and dicky to be around. Like they don't like humans that much.
Do they secretly know that they're douchey and dicky and there's like paying off a spiritual debt? You know what I mean? Like being nice to an animal.
I don't know. I think there's a certain I feel like. I don't know. I'm good with Phil, and I like Phil, but I don't go crazy with him. I save that a little more. Like, I only have...
For your cars?
So much of my... only so much of my loving cup. You know what I mean? I can go...
It's finite.
Give a little to Phil, give a little to the kids, give a little to the cars, and if there's anything left over, I give a little to Lynette at the end.
Oh, that's nice.
But if I went full Phil all the time, I don't think I'd be cool to Olga.
Oh,
well, you know what I mean?
That's the trade-off.
It's the whack-a-mole game.
Yeah, I think there's some of that.
Yeah.
Overcompensation or whatever. But anyway, we're rolling. Driving the Raptor.
At home,
and
pantsless.
Made time to tell me got a 2-year-old Raptor so we get the V8 in there, not the V6 with the turbo in it. The fuel-efficient one. You know, the one that's better for the environment. All right, one more, Gina Grad.
All right.
Dana Gould's coming in tomorrow.
Yes.
We got to get some Huel's Jewels ready for Dana.
It
makes me laugh so goddamn hard.
Last time, I believe he said, as Huel, you'll pollute your bloomers.
We got through one clip.
I know.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, Fox News reports that an Illinois woman was arrested for allegedly driving her SUV while her daughter sat in an inflatable pool on the roof of the car. But she had a very good reason for it. 49-year-old Jennifer Yeager was pulled over Tuesday afternoon by police after she was seen cruising in an Audi Q5 with 2 kids riding in the pool on the roof. She told officers she was driving back from her friend's house where the pool was already inflated and she needed the girls to hold it down so it didn't fly off the top of the car.
That was a good reason.
Yeager was charged with 2 counts of endangering the health or life of a child, 2 counts of reckless conduct, and failure to secure a passenger between 8 and 16. She was taken to the police department and released after posting bond, but she had a reason.
She wasn't drunk?
No.
This is one of those cases where you could wish you were drunk.
Yeah, she's like, okay, I'm going to go 8 miles an hour, and I just need you to hold on.
It was a sober decision.
I know I brought this up a lot, but she's got to move to Spain.
Pamplona?
That's right. That's right, because you could say, understood, this is risky behavior. Right. But, officer, do you have daughters?
I do.
Okay. Let me ask you, what would you rather they do? Sit on top of this Audi SUV while I slowly and carefully take side streets back to my home, or put them in front of some bloodthirsty Brahma bulls who only can see red and will gore them all the way down the street? I'm giving you a decision.
Well,
and once you've arrived,
you know what?
write a ticket.
I'm tearing this up.
Yep.
You made a great point.
This is why everyone needs to move there. Yeah. I'm sort of with, yeah. Yeah, it's probably, it's a little edgy.
Yeah.
It's taken a little too far. I tell you,
the
nice car.
Yeah.
The only happy part of my childhood was once in a while we would go over Coldwater Canyon and down to this little Beverly Hills park right across the street from the Beverly Hills Fire Department, which used to have like a jogging track around it or right next to it as well. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but like I walk whenever I see a fire department, like when I see one in Pacoima or Watts or something, I go, ugh. Hate to have to work there. But once in a while, you'll see one in Monterey, nestled up in the hills. There's one in Beverly Hills that's right
at that fork in the road.
Yeah.
Automobile one up, or we walked with Tessa, we walked into the one on Balboa Island. That's what I'm saying. That's the peak. That's
right.
The best.
That is no Fort Apache, the Bronx. No. So he has a lot of range. But it's like military bases. They go, oh, where are you at? We're at Shit Mush, North Carolina. And it's like other people are going to Maui and they're based in different places. Like, why not?
San Diego.
Fiji.
But we'd go up and over Coldwater Canyon, and when we would sort of coast it down because it's a VW Bug that couldn't gather any speed, always take that canvas soft roof and slide it down. And my dad would just let me and my sister just stand on the passenger seat. We just stand on it, arms out, Leonardo DiCaprio style, and he'd just go coasting down the back. Woo, feel the air in my hair. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No one ever tumbled out.
Well, to kind of be fair to the old man, this seatbelt, I don't think the car had seatbelts, and it didn't even have a latch on the seat. If anyone remembers those old VW Bugs, you just flip the seat forward and it just fall forward.
Right.
It didn't have a headrest.
Right.
And it didn't even have a unlatch it, kind of just flop. When you sat in it, it stayed back. But then when you got out, someone in the backyard, someone in the back seat, just push it forward.
How much more dangerous was standing? Not very.
Irresponsible driving used to be so much more fun. Like, I think I told this years ago. Uncle and aunt of mine, different uncle and aunt, had a pickup truck with the top cover of the camper, and it was like carpeted, and then my brother and I go in the back, and now this is a pickup truck in the back while they're driving the freeway and lie on the wheel wells, and they would occasionally just jerk the car and knock us off the wheel wells. It was so much. It was like, that was one of the happiest memories of my childhood.
Yeah, throwing people around in the back.
Yeah, it's good family fun.
Because they'd be driving along for a good 2-3 minutes, all of a sudden jerk
nice
to the left, falling, rolling all over the back.
Yeah, just
wildly irresponsible, but hilarious.
But the simple. My kids will never ride in the back of a pickup truck when that used to be a sort of normal mode of transportation. All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. You'll pollute your bloomers.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.